All right, back at it, y'all. I'm at a place that is one of, if not the stingiest body of waters here in the Chicagoland area, Busse Woods. It is up there with Skokie Lagoons as being one of the fishiest looking places, which turns out to be one of the hardest places to fish. It is responsible for more of my skunks than any other body of water. You know, I'm sure it's pretty good once you got it figured out, but you know, I definitely don't. Usually if you catch a couple fish, you know you've had a good day, and hopefully we can do a little bit better with that with the help of today's sponsor, Deep Dive, which we'll get into a little bit. But I'm going to use that app to hopefully break down the lake, show me some areas, maybe some baits that I haven't used in the past that maybe work here based on the conditions, and see if we can put together a little bag. So yeah, let's get at it. All right, let's see if that new camera, let's see how that new camera angle works for y'all. But I am at one of the stingiest lakes here in the Chicagoland area, Busse Woods, which really kind of sucks because if you look at this place on Google Maps, it looks really good. Looks really fishy. There's a lot of weed lines, shallow grass, laydowns, a lot of things that you'd think that would attract bass. And there's some good bass in here. There's also carp, crappie, bluegill, pike, sauger. So you can get a pretty good mix of species here. But yeah, for bass fishing, it's been pretty it's really stingy. I have been here, man, it's been about a year. A little over a year. I don't know, ever since I got a kayak and, you know, kind of upgraded from my inflatable that I had. I used to take the inflatable here all the time just because it was small. It's a small lake, you know, no wake, obviously. I think I'm gonna try a swim jig out today. Try some laydowns. Oh, I forgot to spool up more line on this guy. Yeah, the other day I was out and I had the worst bird's nest. So I've got maybe half the line on this. And I was gonna re-spool. I just got too lazy. But I never re-spooled, so that's my fault. So there's a creek that runs right, I'm on top of right now on the creek bed, called Salt Creek. And what it does, and what it's done here, is created a weed line which starts kind of over here a little bit, probably 200 feet to my right, or to my left is where that weed line starts. And then it kind of creates a little bit of a flat here by this island. And so that's what I'm gonna fish and hope that they're up on flats today. There's a lot of grass in here, like I said. Hopefully this new camera angle works out so you're not just either staring at the back of my head or staring at the back of my hands. But yeah, we'll see. Might be just the one and only time I do it. Water's a little dirty.
Oh, nothing on that flat. So like I said, you can see it on the Google Maps and Google Earth. There's a weed line that runs pretty much parallel from the point of that to the point, sort of to a point over there. Can't really see it, but there's a point over there that pretty much is a weed line. Now, as the grass starts dying, you're gonna start pulling up a lot of brown, a lot of dead grass, but you're also gonna get in sparses of green grass. And where you find that green grass is you're gonna find bass. One, bass love grass, but two, they love the green stuff. It still holds oxygen. It's still gonna hold a lot of betta fish, and so it's still gonna congregate around those grass clumps before they start migrating off into their deeper points, to their winter homes. You know, they're still gonna be around some of these grass clumps. Yeah, I don't know, man. This is the best part. This is what I like about fishing, though. I mean, I do like catching them, but like actually trying to figure them out. You know, where could they be? What are they eating on? What are they keying in on? You know, do they want something fast or slow? Do they want something bright and shiny? Do they want something with a lot of vibration? Do they want something that looks more natural? You know, is black and blue a better play than white? I always throw white just because it is my confidence base, my confidence color. I just have confidence in it. I've everywhere from, you know, Georgia to California, you know, picking off bass and using a white chatterbait or a white swim jig has always produced for me. I am seeing activity in there. So this is another shallow flat here. I think it's pretty much like 3-4 feet this entire way. It's a little deeper in there, like 9 feet as the creek turns, or there's another water flow in there from a dam, so it gets in. Yeah, not able to cast this far without all the line, but that's okay. We'll just have to get closer. Hopefully today's pretty good. Might get a little windy towards the middle of the afternoon. I don't know how long I'm gonna be out here though. Ooh, no, it was grass. Still nothing though. Still not even a sniff. Not even a sniff. I think it'd be like along here. There's grass edge. Shallow grass. Like something over there. Little tiny bait fish, probably bluegill, maybe some crappie, or just those. What are those little minnows? Bullhead, or not bullhead? Yeah, is it bullhead minnows? No, I don't know what they're called. Something minnows. They got like a translucent body, pretty much. And you always see them at close to the top of the water, kind of skittering around. Fathead minnows. I think it's something head minnows, fathead minnows. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Let me know. Let me know in the comments what you think. Also, let me know in the comments what you would be throwing. Like I said, you know, I'm throwing a swim jig here, but it definitely might not be the bait I want to use, or it might not be the bait that's going to catch the fish. I don't know. Creature bait, maybe. Ooh, baby. That's either a bass or a big carp. Hopefully my chest camera caught that one. I think if it was a bass, I'm gonna be really upset. Because that means that my bait has gone past some bass's face. Come on, eat my bait. Unless you're a carp, and please don't. Still in 6 feet. Water temperature is 73. It's kind of cooled off a little bit. I mean, that water temperature though drops faster than air temperature, and that is a good. The water temperature is a good inclination of what season you're in. If the air doesn't feel like it, like right now, if I told you it was a warm summer morning, you'd probably say, cool, 80 degrees. Really, it's a slight breeze, but now it's actually starting to become fall. And so a couple of things are gonna happen to your body as a water in fall. One, the fish are gonna start hunting a little bit more. They're gonna start schooling up, fattening themselves up for the winter. Put a little weight on them before they hole up into their winter hideouts. The other thing that'll happen is your lake will turn over. And what that simply means is the water that's above the thermocline becomes colder than the water below the thermocline. And as we all know, hot air rises, so hot water obviously rises. And so that'll come to the top, and so it'll flip, right? So the bottom water will then become your top, and your top water will become the bottom underneath the thermocline. That'll cause your lake to become dirty, dingy, right? Because it's gonna be the bottom water. And it's also gonna smell. Oh, there's one. And it's also gonna, oh, he got off. And it's also gonna start smelling. He got off. I don't think it was a big one. But it'll start to smell like the bottom of your lake. You know, when like you're fishing a jig on the bottom, and you pull up some nasty smelling crap. That's pretty much what it'll start smelling like in your lake. And that's when you know that the turnover's happened. And that gets really tough, right? Because now you're having to deal with fish that are potentially kind of turned off because of the water temperature, because it's fall. And then you got fish that are, you know, still up there hanging next to structure. Still got fish that are hanging next to structure, but with the dirty water, you know, they can't really see that well, so they're relying on vibration and scent. So it becomes, it's a good time of fishing. It's a fantastic time to fish. You're gonna go out there, you're gonna catch a lot of fish. But it comes a little hard too, because the weather kind of plays tricks on your mind of, you know, am I throwing the right thing? Should be speeding up, slowing down, change color. You know, should I be above the top water column or in the bottom of the water column, you know? For me in the fall, that's really when I start overthinking my bait choices. It's in the fall. I'll keep trying with the moving bait just because I got that one bite. Don't know if it was because it was black and blue, but there's another little this is a channel in here off of this point, and sometimes they gather around. It doesn't get very deep either. It gets about 6 feet, but on the sides, you know, obviously it creates a little bit of a channel here. Sometimes you can catch them. You just gotta, like I said, figure them out, know where they're at first. But yeah, like I said, this is the stingiest lake, I believe, in the Chicagoland area. Ooh. Knocked off of something there though. Must have been small. Let's go back to the jig. Back to the old swim jig. About an hour, no fish. I'm not too worried about it. Let's try going up this bank here. I sometimes do good here, but it's usually in the summer. So we'll see. Oh boy. Ooh. Maybe a carp. Oh, I think that was an actual bass. So both bites I've gotten is on black and blue, so continue throwing black and blue, I guess. So I don't think they're on points, as I fished every point. I think they're up by cover, if I'm gonna be honest. All right. So what I'm gonna do is continue down this bank along this weed line, carry out into those trees over there, and then maybe go down to the other dam before trying another channel. So there's a little bit of channel here. This is, I think, one of the deeper areas, the other deep areas by the other dam. When I say deep, I don't mean real deep. I mean, it's like 9-10 feet deep. So, you know, nothing huge. A couple sniffs. It's got me hopeful for the jig. Oh, man. You guys ever just get on the water and it's like immediately you need to poop? That's what it was like today. I even pooped before I left. I was like I just got on the water. Like, do I need to poop again? The good news is there are some outhouses that I can go to back up at the boat ramp, which I might just have to frequent. I just have to visit. So what I'm doing is I'm casting on the edge of that weed line that I see, and then when I see pockets, I'm casting into that pocket or paralleling that pocket. That pocket of grass usually is great for bass because it's a great place for them to ambush, because there's weeds on the other side of it. Ball turnover could have already happened on this lake. 73 degrees seems pretty cold, but we did get some pretty adverse weather not too long ago. Got us down into the 60s. But that'd be August in Chicago for you. Oh boy. Like I said, man, stingiest lake. Ugh. And everything just looks so fishy too. Like there should be fish everywhere. Until you roll up and realize that most of it's carp. Or little tiny bait fish, minnows. But if there's minnows, there's gotta be bass. That's what, like, I know there's bass in this lake. I've caught them. Got some good ones in here too. Could they be on the other side? Yeah, absolutely. Am I fishing that side? No. Just gonna try it on this little bank here. So it just created another weed line over here. So I'm gonna try to fish down towards the dam this time. I'm not gonna stop throwing the jig. Mm-hmm. What I mean, this place looks so good, looks so fishy. All right, let's try out this weed line and this little bit of a flat here. Maybe they're up on the, maybe they're along the bank of the creek bed here. Just waiting to ambush. Crap on it. Ugh. Yeah, I don't know, man. You're fishy, 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 fishy. Ooh, there's something to chase something out of there. Oh, there's one. Oh no, he got off. There's a little guy, but I would have taken him. It's two. It's two that I've missed. And on this lake, you can't miss. Kind of just want to see if there's anything in these weeds right here. Like, this should hold bass, you'd think. So this is a little bit of a point. Also, oh, there was a bass in there. Also, it's got some weeds in here, some submerged vegetation. They're just mocking me now. They're like, hey, you're never gonna catch us. Pretty skinny water, but what I learned in the past is the bass can be in skinny water. Big ones too. There's one. It's not a, oh no, that was a good one. Should not have bloat flipped that one, but dang. That was a good one. Should not have tried bow flipping it. Still doesn't count. Gosh darn it, man. That was a good one. That was a good one, man. That was like a 17-incher. A good way to start the day. Okay, so they're kind of shallow. They're up on grass. Let's look for grass, weed lines, weed edges, isolated grass patches, stalks of grass that are out by themselves, like these guys, like these green ones out here. Like I said, you find green grass and you're gonna find bass. Long tapering point comes out to a shallow flat here. Well, that was 3 fish I missed. Gosh darn it, man. That third one was pretty good. For here, anyway. Pterodactyls. You don't want to tell me that's what pterodactyls didn't sound like when they were here. This is another weed line. Kind of a shallow, flattish area. Usually in the winter they're over here. But not today. I wouldn't see him. You can tell me there's no fish over here? I find that hard to believe. Ooh, almost dropped my rod. I don't know if you saw that. Oh, that'd been a first. It's been almost 3 hours, right? An hour and 20 minutes. Still no bite. Well, still no landed fish. I've gotten plenty of bites. I've gotten 3 bites. 0 fish landed. It is not a good ratio. It is a terrible ratio, actually. 0-3. It's time for a new coach. Yeah, no fish, but you know, just hanging out with you guys. Fishing's always fun when you have a buddy anyway, and you guys are kind of like my buddies right now. Just can't talk back to me. Starting to warm up. The water temperature is still around the same, still 73, 72, 73. So not much different, but it's starting to get hot. Feel it. Come on, fish, eat a swim jig. I know you can. Almost caught 3 of your friends. Almost. What are we, playing horseshoes and hand grenades? No way. You don't almost catch a fish either. Caught a fish or you didn't. This place just gets so pressured. And it's not that big. I mean, the thing is where there's fishable water, it's not a lot. Most of it around here is like 1 to 2 feet deep. So if you think you're good at fishing, come here. Or, you know, always go to a lake that's a little rough, you know. I'm not saying don't go to a lake that doesn't have fish in it. But, you know, try a pressured lake once in a while. It's a great way to kind of humble you a little bit. And it makes you really think like, all right, you know, where are they gonna be? Let's target those areas specifically. It's kind of like if you go to like a really, really large body of water, there's no way you're gonna be able to cover everything. So you wanna just take a section of that river, of that lake, and kind of break that apart and spend a day fishing that instead of, you know, trying to get to the entire body of water. It's just not gonna happen. Yeah, it's 12 o'clock now. Let's see here. Bait tool, it's gonna be in the afternoon. Let's go ahead and just call it what it is. Stained water, bladed jig. I love a chatterbait. Okay, let's do it. And they're saying, oh, bank grass. We got a ton of that here. Flat bank. And that's what I'm fishing right here, is this flat bank. Perfect. This is a pretty good representation of what I'm just fishing here on this flat bank. Almost 4 hours and still no fish. Do I know how to fish? Do I know what I'm doing? Thought I did. There's a fish. Nice. Okay. Immediately after I switched to a chatterbait, seemed to work. Thanks, bud. So, I switched up to a chatterbait, and I'm fishing these, fishing this flat here, so I can catch a fish out of here. But yeah, all I did is I went from a swim jig and switched it over to a bladed jig, like Deep Dive was suggesting, and lo and behold, caught a fish. Pretty quick too. I mean, I've been throwing that swim jig around all day. Oh, there's one. There's a bigger one that hit slacking me. It's a bigger one. Yep. That's a big one of the day. Got some battle scars, buddy. Nice. Nice. It's got a little couple battle scars there. Looks like somebody tried to take a bite out of them. Thanks, bud. He not slacking my line too. Chatterbait. God dang it. I just throw this from the beginning. It is my confidence bait after all. I fished this thing from Georgia, California, Tennessee, New York, New Jersey. White chatterbait will always be my, it always gets bit for me. And usually in every body of water you go to, there's gonna be bait fish as part of their main forage. And those bait fish come in a variety of colors, right? You got shad, brim, bluegill, minnow. So, and white is just one of those colors that just kind of shows up. It's just works. So all I'm doing is I'm fishing the shallow flat. So I'm on the edge of it, kinda. It kind of goes around in this big circle here. And I'm just casting along the edges of it. And yeah. Got a white chatterbait with a white Zako, is that how you say it? It's another one. They're all in this corner, man. Just stacked up here. Come on, baby. That felt good too. Getting a little smaller, but thanks, bud. Did you eat my trailer? You did, you guy. Once again, chatterbait recommendation from Deep Dive. So in the 3 hours that I have yet, that I did not catch a fish on a jig, I picked up the chatterbait, and within 10 minutes, I caught 2. Oh, there's another one. Nice. Nice. Chatterbait, dude. On a shallow flat here in El Point. It's another. It's decent white. It's been. Thanks, bud. I was a good old nothing, and then switched to chatterbait on these flats, and been working out. I really thought jig was going to be swim jig was going to be the bait. Don't ever be scared of wind-blown banks, even if you're on the bank fishing, because it pushes all the bait, and you know, predatory fish will follow that. Well, I think that might do it for me. It was rough. I got here early. Got here 7 o'clock. Fished for about 3 hours, 4 hours. Got a couple bites, missed a fish, maybe missed 2. I know I, for one, when I tried to boat flip, missed. And then, yeah, it was that point in the time where I was like, dang, nothing I'm using is working. So I looked at Deep Dive, and it said, and so I tried, you know, chatterbait. Deep Dive was telling me to say chatterbait at this time, afternoon, based on the water condition, based on the water clarity and the conditions. Sure enough, within, you know, 5 minutes, I had my first fish. Dong! Yeah, and then, you know, caught a couple more. One thing about fall is when you catch one, there's usually, and I say usually because not always, there's usually going to be a couple more around it, because I do like to school up at this time. So yeah, I think that'll do it. Check out the links below if you want to get Deep Dive. It is, you don't have to pay for it. You can get the Pro. You can get away with so much with just using just the regular basic free version. You still get everything. You still get all the baits, the patterns, and examples of where to throw them. So take a look. Yeah, get out there and fish. Tight lines, y'all.